joining us back here on the phone again. Jen, our apologies for having to cut you off short earlier. We were getting a little bit of information from somebody who was actually with the Naval Sea Systems Command. I know that you're very well plugged in with D.C. Police. Have you been able to get anything confirmed at this point?
At this point, everything is going to be initial. Everything's going to be source information, and it's going to be coming in bits and pieces because everyone is actively involved in the situation. But the initial information I'm getting is that this began as sounds of gunshots. That's very, very important to note. And we need to be cautious as we move forward. Given that the first call out is sounds of gunshots, it's not that the first call out was that we have someone shot or that we see someone shooting. This is sounds of gunshots. I have been able to confirm with several sources that this is Building 197. I know that we just heard from the public affairs officer from the Naval Research System there saying that he wasn't clear on that, but I have several sources confirming that this is Building 197, the same building from 2013. The good news is, as he also stated and as Sam stated earlier, is that police are inside the building as we speak and that they are clearing floor by floor. I'm also told that given what happened in 2013, given the huge investigation that occurred after that, and concerns about miscommunication between all of these different jurisdictions that you see out there right now, that things are going much more smoothly right now. That communication is going very well, that police are inside that building. I'm told by one source that they've evacuated Building 197. I am sure, and this is going to be an educated guess, they're doing that meticulously as they search floor by floor. But as of right now, let's say about 8 minutes ago when I spoke with that source, this was still a sounds of gunshots. And you heard the public affairs officer describe this as a potential incident. So right now, we're not hearing anyone say we have victims, we have a shooter. So I think as we go along, we're just going to need to wait to hear what happened. But that initial sounds of gunshots, and we have police in the building right now. So those people who are inside 197, the officers are inside that building. They're clearing those floors. They're investigating what I understand is a sound of gunshots.
Yeah, Jennifer, that was something that we're also seeing a lot of agencies are putting out over social media, is that as they are conducting this room-by-room sweep there in Building 197, that so far no victims have been identified, also no weapons recovered, but still no shooter found. That is something, though, that you mentioned earlier about the amazing response and the coordination among these multiple agencies. And you're right. I mean, it was something that was brought to the light whenever this unfortunately happened in 2013, that there wasn't a lot of coordination and communication among these agencies. That really seems to have been remedied if you're just looking at how quickly all of these different jurisdictions came together to respond to this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing. That's the lesson learned. That's when you investigation, you start that discussion between the jurisdictions before, God forbid, something happens again. And we have a possibility that something has occurred. The system has now been, the kinks have been worked out, and from what I understand, things are going much more smoothly than they were going in 2013. In 20 reports that, one SWAT team had arrived and they weren't allowed to go in, the other had to go in, and the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, but and that may be a little harsh in that critique, but from what I understand now, because I asked the question, how are things going, and he said much better.
Right, yeah, it seems that they have certainly been able to streamline their response. All right, Jennifer Donelan, thank you very much, getting lots of great information for us from your sources with the D.C. Police Department.